All right, my buddy friends, it's time for the last impromptu buddy training here for Night to Shine at Bond coming up this Friday. And thank you for watching this. I'm sorry that you couldn't make any of our other 4 training sessions, but we understand. We don't hold grudges very long for people who miss trainings. In fact, we'll do everything we can to accommodate. But the reason why we try to do in-person trainings is that Night to Shine is not just an event with tasks. It's really a powerful moment that we create when everyone doesn't just know what to do, but they come with a heart that's connected to our guests. And so like at trainings, we have a lot of our VIPs who come and they greet, they hold doors, they do other things to just to help us connect to the mission that we're doing. And let me tell you, if everyone's heart is right and they know what to do, we can create some magical, powerful moments together. And so that's why we try to get people together. But since that couldn't happen this year, we don't want you to miss out on it, and we have a bunch of VIPs who are pumped up, and we told them we got these buddies who are coming, and we are excited that you're still on board. And so anyway, here's my impromptu, not so polished VIP buddy training tutorial. So I'm going to kind of walk you through a couple things to keep you aware. And so again, this is going to be extremely unrefined and unpolished, but it will give you all the details and keep you up to go. So here we go. All right, so the first thing we want to tell you is download, if you can, the Bind app, our Bind Church app. The reason why is it has other things that you can access. In fact, a lot of the information that I'm going to tell you about today is on this app in the buddy section, just as a refresher or to clarify things, because there is a lot of information and we want to give you as much help as we can. So go there. The other reason why it's on this, we want you to download it, is so that you can watch the live stream or tell other people to watch the live stream and share that with others. So we'll have cameras all over the campus trying to capture these moments. We do have some professional videographers and photographers who are going to make some content later on. But we'll also have live streams going for those people who are watching from a distance. So make sure you do that. To give you a little history about Night to Shine, about 20 years ago, this guy named Brewster McLeod up in Lexington, Kentucky was a youth pastor, and they said, hey, we do a lot of church things, but what would really honor God and what would Jesus love? And so they came up with the Jesus Prom. They threw it for a bunch of friends that they had who had special needs. It caught on, and a church over in Louisville, Kentucky called Southeast Christian Church, which has 16,000 members. They started doing Jesus Prom there because they were part of the same denominational group. And then about 10 years later, it spread down to Jacksonville, Florida, where Christ Church started doing a night to remember. Well, there were some people at the Tim Tebow Foundation who heard about it and who were a part of Christ Church, and they went and they told Tim Tebow, hey, you got to check this out. This is the most amazing event ever, and you would love it. And so for the 5th anniversary of the Tim Tebow Foundation, they threw 44 proms across the country just as a one-time celebration. Well, after that one-time celebration, they realized this was an annual thing that God was going to use. And so this year is the 10th anniversary of Night to Shine, and we're excited because it's not just the 10th anniversary of Night to Shine. This is the 2nd annual Night to Shine. Last year we had the first one ever in Albany, Georgia, because of many of you who volunteered with us. It was amazing. God blessed the night in such rich ways. In fact, blessed it so much that from that 183 guests that came last year and 600 volunteers, now we're up to almost 1,000 volunteers and over 300 VIPs coming to experience the night. And so again, God's hands on it. And it's not just about our church here at Bond. We're excited that Bond Church and Christian School are a part of it. A lot of things happening here we help to lead and spearhead. But we got people from all over the community, from just about every denomination in the city, every church in the city. We have, the other day at training, we had 5 or 6 pastors. So not just people who had friends here, but other ministry leaders jumping on board to say, hey, let's do something really significant and special together. And so Night to Shine has really become a powerful moment for our whole city to unite behind something very, very special. And the purpose of Night to Shine is to make every single king and queen feel the way that God feels about them. We want them to feel loved, valued, and created with purpose. And so Night to Shine is all about helping people experience the truth of the love of God, to make all those things that we believe in a reality for them. And so we're not holding anything back. In fact, when you walk around, you're going to see so many things that were put together, designed specially for our guests, and you get to see all those things. We have a lot of people all over campus, from parking and red carpet, food, registration, all these other roles, and all those people know that there's good things happening on the inside. And what you get to do as a buddy is to help guide our guests, our VIPs, through the experience and help them find things that they'll come to love. Again, we do have t-shirts that will be available there if you want to buy them. They're $15 and $20. And then we have some of last year's t-shirts available for $10. So you got that. I do want to highlight and let you know that we have just a host of sponsors. Some who just gave richly with their finances, others who are donating products or services just to make this happen. And we have a huge team coming alongside us to really make this possible. And so these are people from all over the community. We do have a lot of people from our church who give, but as you can see, there's also a lot of other people who just have decided that it's important for us to love people and to make a big difference. And so I want to thank our sponsors. Again, if you see them, their names, make sure that you do visit them. Make sure you tell them thanks for being a part of what they're doing. The best thing about our sponsors is that every single one of these on here have volunteers who are part of the event. So they're not just supporting things like they do just random charities. They're sold on the fact that when we come together to help people experience God's goodness, that joy flows and it unites all of us together. So a lot of good things happening there. With that, we wanted to give you a couple things about the way we view our guests. Again, in the sensory room, we have one of the things we're excited about this year is an entire sensory experience. Last year, we had a sensory room, and so we have a lot of guests who might get overwhelmed. Some guests who come wearing headphones. You probably see people out in public wearing headphones, just trying to keep noises down because of sensory preferences. And last year we had a room, and it was okay. It was very okay. But this year we're leaning into this because we know there's a lot of people who have sensory preferences and sensory needs that don't have other things that are for them. They struggle to fit into typical spaces. And so we have gone like all out. You can be way proud of what you see when you get here. Many of you will spend some time in there with some of our guests. But our sensory experience is a series of 5 rooms put together to help guests experience all that the night has to offer. And so we have food that's going to be up there for those who don't want to leave that space. We're going to have a tactile room where you can touch and feel different things. We have a game room. We have this visual room that's really cool. It's going to this projector goes across the entire wall. We have 3 of them linked together. And so there's this experience where you can see just all kinds of different flyovers and aquariums and neat things happening in that space. And then because of our friends at Weatherall Behavioral, they hooked us up and bought us an entire system for silent disco. And so there's going to be a full activity room there for guests to wear headphones and dance to their own song. So all that's going on. We got professionals who are going to be there with us too, from Danielle Weatherall, who's going to be a part of that, and then Deborah Seagroves is helping to lead in that area, and other people who are helping that moment become possible. But with all that, we're doing all this so that, again, our guests feel loved, valued, and created with purpose. And within that, the way we view people starts to shift and change in these moments. So there's a lot of things. There's some things I think I'm probably okay at, pretty decent at, but there's a lot of things I'm horrible at. Like I can't throw a football at all. It's embarrassing. All right. But I hope that when I walk down the road and people see me, they don't say, "Hey, there's the guy who can't throw a football. There's the guy who stinks at that." Right? Nobody wants to be known by their limitations or the things that they're not proficient in. Right? We all understand that there are things that God's created us to do. He's created us and He's designed us to have differing abilities. And it's the same way with our guests. We, through this entire event, want to affirm the abilities and the value that God has placed in the lives of our guests. And so through everything that we do, we talk about people, and then sometimes we do reference them based upon some of the accommodations that we need to bring. So like if we're talking about somebody who has a wheelchair, we'll say a person with a chair. Or if there's someone who comes who has some differences in their chromosomes, we might say, hey, it's a person with Down syndrome. They're a person first before they're ever defined by anything else. And it starts to shape the way we view our guests, but also the way we view other people as well. And so Night to Shine is all about affirming the value of people. We want them to feel loved, valued, and created with purpose. All right. So this whole night is all centered around our guest. And so a lot of the decisions that we make are made to make sure that our guests are put first, and then the parents and caregivers, and then third, our partner agencies who serve alongside us that we can support. So with that, we care about volunteers, right? I mean, we're all important too, but all the decisions about this night are all centered around the guests. The reason why we tell everyone, hey, you got to get a background check. We have school teachers who say, hey, do I have to get a background check? Yes. We have police officers who say, hey, I want to volunteer. Do I have to get a background check? Yes. Because we want to make sure we can tell our guests and our parents, every single person has gone through this, at least this level and this threshold of security clearance, to make sure that they can feel at peace and confident, that not just in terms of sensory spaces and other accommodations that we've made, but that everyone here is trained, that they're cleared, and that they're ready to go for the best night ever. So all of our decisions are geared upon making sure a guest is put first, parents and caregivers are accounted for, and our partner agencies feel confident that we're all working together. So with that, you get to be a part of what we're doing together to make that happen as a buddy. Listen, there are a lot of other responsibilities this night, but without buddies, nothing else happens. And so we want to encourage you, lead you through this whole process to make sure that you know what to do, where to go, so that you're fully prepared for that. But let me tell you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because the role that you will play will make a huge difference in the lives of our guests, but also will help shape our parents and caregivers. In fact, your readiness watching this video will help assure them that you're prepared to make sure that they have a safe and wonderful experience. And so with that being said, all right, here we go. All right, so as a buddy, again, you want to arrive between 4 and 4:30 on campus, right? I know that's early for some people on Friday, but take off work. We have businesses shutting down, like BJ's and Jewel Accessories, saying, hey, we're shutting down today so that we can be here on time. If you can, try to make accommodations to be here between 4 and 4:30. The doors will open at 5 o'clock. We really start at 5:30. Our guests are ready to go. They're pumped up about this night, and so we need as many people as possible to be ready. So be here between 4 and 4:30 for that moment together. And when you come, it's important that you park over across the street over in Walmart's parking lot. So we'll have like about 2,000 people on campus, which means we need some extra parking. Walmart said they can take care of us with that, so they're going to help us out. So if you park between the gas station and Chili's, there'll be buses to bring you over, to drop you off. There are people who will probably go ahead and make the run, but we'll encourage you. We do have buses coming, so you can go there. When you arrive, there's a building that faces Lido Road that runs parallel, and there'll be green flags there, a banner that says volunteer check-in. Come in there and get your badge. After you get your badge, you'll immediately proceed all the way, and there's signs. You'll make a right out of there and go all the way into the worship center at Bond. And so just there'll be like all the guys will sit on one side, or the girls will be on another side, and that's the staging area to pair up our buddies with our guests. All right. So when we do that, though, here's what's going to happen that will hopefully make you feel really confident. Last year we did this for the first time, and really it worked well, and we made a couple more refinements to it. So I know that for some people who are watching this video, you're high energy people, you're good with the dance floor, you're good with anything. Other people are maybe not really looking to dance all night, but willing to help somebody out. So we have low energy and high energy buddies. We also have low energy and high energy guests. And so when they come into that space, the MC at the front is going to say, hey, this is this part, so-and-so is one of our VIPs, and they're looking for a high energy experience. And if that's you, you pop up and say, hey, I'm in, I'm going for it. All right, if you see somebody who comes through and you think, okay, they're probably about my speed, we're probably gonna do a little sitting tonight, it won't be quite so crazy, jump up and say, hey, that's me. Now let me tell you, that might be a little awkward at first when you make that jump, because there's a lot of people and you're gonna have to be a little bit assertive. But while that might be a little awkward for you, let me tell you, the blessing for the guest is for many of them, they don't have people fighting over this moment to walk through an event with them, right? I mean, I don't get picked first for a lot of things, but I've never been picked up, I've never been left out all the way, not picked at all. And so for some of our guests, a lot of things aren't for them. And this night, when you pop up and say, hey, I'm in, they're going to feel so loved and affirmed. So get ready. It's going to be a little bit, for some people, a little awkward, but jump into it because our guests are going to be moved by your compassion in that way. All right, so you'll be in the sanctuary, and then in the worship center, you'll get paired up, and then they'll have you walk out with the buddy, and more than likely the parent or caregiver will still be with them at that time. And so at that time, you can do a couple things with them. You want to make sure that you understand, again, what type of needs the guests have. Now, you have a badge that has your name on the front, your credentials with a lanyard that says you have full access. On the back of your badge, there's going to be all of the different activities that you can point to, that from sensory horses to dance floors. So if you have a guest that's not quite so verbal, you can turn around and show it to them. But at that time, you also are going to get a card from the guest that has their name, if they came with a group, who the group is, what type of needs they might have. So some guests have sensory needs, some guests have dietary restrictions, other things like that you might need to know about. But at the bottom of that card, there's something very important. The phone number of the person who is present on property, whether it's a parent or somebody who came with that group. You want to, at that time, make sure that phone number is correct, because there are some things that you don't need to do. If there's a guest who needs to go to the restroom and they need assistance, that doesn't need to be your job. What you need to do is call that parent or caregiver and say, hey, we need you to come help us at the restroom, and then you meet them there, right? If there's someone who has medication, don't worry about it. That's not your job. We're not even going to do that. We're going to tell the parent or caregiver, hey, it's time for that medication. It's time for you to administer that. And so you just want to make sure that phone number's right in case you have any needs. You'll have a few minutes to kind of work through that process, because with the parent or caregiver, you'll go out from there, get a photo taken. Make sure you get your photo taken. It's important. All of our guests want to know, hey, where's my picture? Right? But then for our girls or queens, we have hair and makeup station where they get some of the last minute touches. For the guys, we have a shoe shine area. And then finally, we go all the way out to the limo line. And we have 18 limos lined up. That's right, 18 limos lined up for this night, ready to take our guests around with you to the red carpet. At that limo line, that's when the parents or caregivers are going to get into a golf cart, and they'll go around and meet us there. But you'll get into a limo that will go all the way around the property and drop you off with the guest at the red carpet. And this is when just the party really takes off. All right, our red carpet last year was killer. It was awesome. So much energy, and we got 250 people this year, and a whole nother red carpet. We got 2 red carpets this year, so we have so much action going on over there, and it is straight joy. Now, most of our guests, when they get to the red carpet, they are all about it. If you say, hey, do you want the full experience? That means people yelling. They're like, yes, I'm in. And so they'll walk down the red carpet, and you won't, like all those smiles you see in the pictures, there's no Photoshop going on. It is straight joy. So you're going to walk down the red carpet. Now, we have some guests who get to the red carpet, and it can be a little much. There's 200 people sitting there cheering for you. That can be a lot. You'll find out when you get there. And so if any of our guests have sensory needs, or say, hey, we want a quiet experience or a sensory friendly experience, they hold a sign that says smiles and waves, and the whole red carpet stops, and they stop and just do this. And it's so peaceful. They walk all the way in and go around. Now, if there are guests who say, I'm not getting out, there's way too many people, just FYI, we have put all the way over here, right by our sensory room, another red carpet entrance with nobody on it that's easy to walk into, right to our sensory experience right away. And so if there's somebody who says, I'm not getting out at the red carpet, you can bring them around over to this side, and they can pop into the sensory area and get like a softer entrance into the event. But most of our guests are not going to do that. They're going to walk the red carpet once, twice, 3 times. I don't know. They love it. As they come in, though, you'll go all the way down through the pathway and into the activity space. Now, heads up, that is completely lit by blacklight this year. We have these huge blacklight floodlights that just make the whole place just glow. It's going to be exciting. If you got things that you wear that glow in the dark, it's going to be even better. The games will be oriented that way. But in that space, you have karaoke that's happening, and then a bunch of like games like cornhole and different kind of things like that you can do with our guests. We also have our new 360 camera that you can jump on and get a video with the guests. It's going to be pretty cool. And so all that's happening in that space. There's some sensory dogs at the end of it as well. And so that's another place you can go to. Then, of course, we have our dance floor, which is getting put together right now as we speak, that has just, again, we got the best DJ, the best everything going on, and it's going to be so much fun just celebrating together at that time. We'll also have a first aid station there if you ever need anything. First aid will be throughout the event, but definitely stationed right there with a bunch of medical professionals. We have security everywhere throughout the whole property. And we also have guides. And so guides, I think their necklace is, I think it's a green necklace that flashes. And if you ever have a question, you need support, you need to go to the restroom, whatever it is, let the guide know, hey, can you assist me with this? And they'll help you along the way. We've got dance floor, first aid, games and karaoke. And then upstairs, you can't see it right here. I would show you on the walkthrough, and we'll try to let you know when you get there. There's signage everywhere. But upstairs is a huge craft room with all kinds of different coloring and different things that people can do that's really cool to help them get into different spaces as well. So outside the dance floor, outside that door that you can't hardly see right there, but there's a sign that says that we have sensory horses out here. There's 6 sensory ponies, I should say, that are going to be out there. And we also have sensory dogs that are outside this entrance over here. One change we had to make because of space is we moved our guest food tent. And so originally it was on this side, but we've moved it out by the red carpet to have plenty of space and a good paved surface. And so there's 2 exits to get out to our food. One is out through the activity gym. That's the main one that will kind of lead you around. And then the other one that is accessible for those in a wheelchair with mobility needs is through that entrance that you came in off the red carpet. There's an entrance on both sides to get to our guest food. Our guest food is, again, people have come alongside to make this amazing. Last year, Longhorn called us and said, hey, would you be interested in us providing all of the guest food? And we were like, yeah, of course. And so they did all that for us. This year, Rebecca from Longhorn just totally took care of us and called Olive Garden, her friends over there, and said, hey, do you want to jump in? And so this year, for our guests and our buddies, you all get to eat with them too, Longhorn and Olive Garden have come together to make this night amazing. They've donated all that. They have their team coming over. So again, just thankful for the community and all their support. So all the guest foods out there, again, be mindful. There's going to be different needs that some guests have. Some are gluten intolerant. Some are lactose intolerant. Some have diabetes. There's different kinds of needs, and then some, and all that food will be laid out and labeled so you know where you can access that. But then also, we have some guests, and you'll see on the card that comes that they need their food cut up. Well, you can do that. You can cut their food up into small pieces. But there are some guests who need their food pureed. And there's probably, I think, 2 or 3. And so if you have a guest who needs that type of assistance, again, when you're in that tent, ask the guide, and they'll bring pureed food or help you with that so that you can accommodate those needs. So as you do that, then you can come back into these spaces again. There's no real itinerary for any of that. Just as your guest wants to do things, you're going to guide them through it. And you do want to encourage the guest to do different things. Sometimes we all get caught in just a season where we just want to stay put and do the same thing. It's best for our guests if they get to experience multiple things. So we're not going to force them to do things, but we do want to suggest that they can continually try new things so they're not in the same place. It will help us to avoid crowds. It also gives them just new things to help them enjoy the entire night and not to get stuck in one place. And so you want to keep people moving through that process. In between the gyms, we do have hydration stations as well. And we want to encourage everyone to make sure that the guests stay hydrated through the entire night. And then there's bathrooms marked at different locations all throughout. The bathroom where if guests have needs where they need assistance from a parent or caregiver, right by first aid, that's where you want to go because it's close to where the parents will be. And it's also a family restroom that they can occupy themselves. And then we also have medical professionals if there's additional layers of support that are needed at that time. So that's all these spaces. Now you should have some understanding. Respites where the parents and caregivers hang out. They have a catered meal. They have activities and games they're doing. We have a massage therapist coming in. Some other people doing some crafting kind of like classes with bath soaps and things for them. So some fun things that they can enjoy. We have a new patio area with lights that they can hang out in by a fire pit. And some good things for parents and caregivers. So they're close. And they're easy to reach in those times. In fact, we do have a couple of viewing areas for them where they can come into the gymnasiums and still watch what's going on at that time. The last thing I want to tell you about is the sensory experience. I mentioned that before. It's kind of down the hallway. Again, this is why we typically try to get people to walk this space so you can kind of see what it looks like and where you go. But if you go off the dance floor, there's signage that will take you all the way down the hallway to this space that has all of those things from, again, the silent disco to the visual and tactile, different rooms and professionals. We want to reserve this for people who really need it. I mean, everywhere on campus is somewhat sensory friendly. We don't have strobe lights anywhere. We don't do any of that kind of thing. Even our dance floor, the volume is moderate. It's not loud like you typically would find. And so it's all somewhat friendly. And there's a lot of spaces you can get to that are quiet so guests don't get overwhelmed. But if there are people who need additional assistance or really want to go there, you're allowed to take them down to the sensory experience where we have sensory swings and all kinds of different things that you can do with them. In fact, we do have food down here too for guests who don't want to go all the way to the other side. So we'll have a lot of accommodations made for the guests throughout the night. From the very beginning, when you meet the guest, all the way to the very end of the night, you are the person who is going to guide them through this experience and make sure they have the best night possible and that the parents and caregivers feel completely at ease with everything that's happening. So it's important that you always stay with your guest all the time. Don't ever leave them. Like I said, if you need to go to the restroom, tell a guide. The guide will hang out with them until you get back, and we can help you with that. So you need to stay with them all the way to the end of the night. And that brings us to the end of the night. And this is the biggest part of the night. It's the crowning moment. All around the world, we'll have hundreds of thousands of kings and queens that are crowned the king of the prom. You'll have a bag with you that has that we'll give to you that has a crown or a tiara inside. And at the end of the night, by 8 o'clock, all the music comes down, and we get everyone to go into the gymnasiums. And so all the groups, if you're with somebody with a group home, which you'll see on their badge, and you'll know that because of their bracelet, all the groups will go into the dance floor. And everyone who came as an individual guest, like with a parent or caregiver, they're going to go into the activity gym. And at that time, in both gyms at the same time, we'll play a video from Tim Tebow and from he and Demi that they've made special for our guests that just affirm God's love for them, his value that he's placed on their life. And then you get to do something extremely special. You take that crown or tiara and you get to put it on the head of the guest, that VIP that you've helped to lead around the night and to be a buddy with. And you don't have to have a big speech prepared. You can just say, "You look amazing," or "God loves you," or "It's been so much fun. I'm so happy for you." Some type of affirmation, and our guests will get that moment of understanding the fact that God does have such extravagant love for them and has given so much. Jesus gave his life to show his love and value of the people who he's created. So again, that's a huge moment. After that's done, there's going to be, it'll be parents and caregivers watching the whole thing, which is going to be really cool for them to have that type of affirmation from you for the guest. After that, there's the Night to Shine song that Gary Laveau wrote just for Night to Shine will be played. We'll sing and dance to that. And as soon as that's done, the night's done. If you're part of a group and you're in the group with the dance floors, you have different bracelets. There's like a blue, pink, purple, orange, yellow, and we'll release people to different areas back up here in this respite area based upon which bracelet you have. We'll say, hey, orange stay here and yellow go out the door, and we'll give you instructions based upon the color of the bracelet. If you're with a guest who's in the individual gymnasium, they each have a number on their bracelet. They have their own color bracelet too. I forget what color it is, but it has a number on it. The parent or caregiver has the other number. So our security team will match it up to make sure that someone's going with the right person and that everyone's moving in the right direction. What will happen after it's all done, parents and caregivers will be in there watching that crowning moment, and they'll just come down and meet together with you, and you'll have that affirmation that they're with the right person. And as soon as they're with their group, with their parent or caregiver, you're free to go. Security will check them at the door. You can take off, post some pictures, tell people about the amazing night that you had and how you were able to really be a part of making a huge difference for our community and just for this whole area. So thank you again for being a part of all that. Again, with your dress, there's a lot of spaces. Wear comfortable shoes, right? You wear comfortable shoes. Choose function over fashion, all right? With everything else, choose fashion. All right, so make sure that everything that you wear shows the value of our guest. Whatever is your best, wear it, and wear it for this moment. And if it's got sequins, this is the moment to bring it back out again. You know, that dress or jacket that you bought for New Year's Eve 3 years ago, break it back out again. This is the moment. You cannot overdo it. It is formal, but it's really more of a fun, formal event. So wear something comfortable, come hydrated, make sure you get something to eat because it may be a little while before you actually get to the food area to eat again, and do everything you can to be here between 4 and 4:30 ready to go. Listen, just like our trainings happened and you weren't able to make it, there's going to be other things that pop up that make you think, I'm not sure I can make it to the event. Just know it's coming, all right? It's a part of it every year that we all go through. But I'm telling you, there's blessing on the other side of perseverance. And so just press into it. We're going to be praying for you. We're here to support you if you need anything. But make sure that you show up between 4 and 4:30 or as soon as you can afterwards to make sure that you're ready to help our guests have the best night ever. So again, anyways, thank you for watching this. There's other things you can look at in our training materials in the app that you can check out. If you have any questions, you can just email me. It's mjackson@byne.org, mjackson@byne.org, and I'll get back to you ASAP with anything that you have a question about. So again, thank you for watching this, and I hope you have a great day. Can't wait to see you on Friday.